If you can tell us a little bit about your journey to arrive at this state of breathtaking clarity and simplicity.
Om Shanti. Like each one of you, around, I think, 22 years back, I was sitting that side. And before that, my mother started coming for meditation sessions to the Brahma Kumaris. She would start asking me to go to the center. And the more she asked me to go, the more I moved away because no one can force me into doing anything, that typical. So I said, I'm not interested, I don't need it, life is perfect for me, academically, personally, socially, everything was perfect. So why do I need to do meditation? Because meditation is not the way it is today, more accepted. It was more one of the things few people do who had problems in their life, is what I believed. And I didn't have a problem in my life, so I didn't find the need to go to the center. But every week, she said every Thursday, every Sunday, she would make an effort. And every morning on Sunday, I already had my excuse ready why I didn't want to go today. Either it would be homework, either it would be my headache, my stomach ache, everything. I did everything possible not to come here. I tried very hard to move away from not coming here. And then I don't know why, I just saw a lot of change in her actually. A lot of transformation from being a typical mother who gets worried for children, anxiety if they are late in that era of without phones, and very anxious if the child is going through something. And I suddenly, within a year or so, I found her very strong, very powerful, even stronger than everybody else in the house. And I knew she was getting something which was right. And then I said, okay, now I want to do this course. When she stopped asking me to do it, then I said, I want to now do this meditation course. And then when I came to the center, and like all of you were told in this 1 week, that God is teaching us here. And the sister who gave me the course, she said, God is directly giving this knowledge. And I just stared at her and I said, you mean to say specifically here, like this? She said, yes. I walked away. I said, I'm not coming back to this place. They say very strange things over here. And in fact, I went back and I told my father not to send my mother here because it's not a right place. So she said, I said, how can you talk like this? God is for everybody. You can't say He teaches here. It's not done like this. After 6 months, I again went back and I said, you prove it to me, then I will understand. She said, it can't be proved. I said, then I cannot understand. She said, you first accept it and start experimenting with it. I said, how can I experiment if I don't believe that it's there? So we were in this dilemma whether to first experiment or whether to first have it proved, what to do. And then I remembered that as a science student, in maths we were taught that to begin with a belief, suppose A is equal to B. You write that first line, suppose A is equal to B, and then you go on proving it. And in the end, you will again come back to, yes, A is equal to B. So I had to put the first line as, suppose God is giving this knowledge. Now, what do I have to do? So she said, okay, meditation every day and Murli class every morning, high vegetarian lifestyle. I said, I'll do only for 3 months. Can't do live this kind of a lifestyle forever. She said, only 3 months. And then I really did that 3 months sincerely. I did it every single day, 3 months. Because God cannot be seen, cannot be proved. Soul cannot be seen, cannot be proved. Because anything that is not visible cannot be seen, cannot be proved, but it can be experienced. So then began a journey of studying and meditating, and it did not take 3 months actually. It was much sooner than that, that I could experience a very personal relationship of love and power from God, and also a self change, self transformation. So within, I think, 2 months or so, I said A is equal to B. This is the place. And I started the journey. And then it was a daily Murli class, daily meditation. Then about 10 years or 8 years later, I was going to the studio for helping in creating programs for the Brahma Kumaris. And one day I was asked to sit on the chair to do the program. And I was very resistant because I don't find myself eligible for that. And I said, I don't know anything what has to be done in this program. I don't know what to share. I don't know what to speak. They said, no, you just sit. You just sit and surrender. So it was a very beautiful experience that just like these two chairs, and I sat here. The sister who was invited to do the interview, she came up to me and she said, what am I supposed to ask? I said, don't scare me anymore. I have no idea. Just sit. I have been told just sit and it will happen. So you also just sit and it will happen. And but that personal relationship with God, and I just said, Baba, I know nothing. Whatever happens now, nobody knows me. So it's not going to, I'm not going to get insulted in front of the world. It's you. So it's about you. So you take care what has to happen. And it was a amazing experience. 30 minutes just flowed, and she was asking and I was answering, and she was asking and I was answering, and when I was answering I was learning. So I was answering but I didn't know those answers. So while it was happening I was learning. And that day, in one day, we recorded 8 episodes, and we didn't know from where the content flowed. And after it was aired on television, it got a good response. I couldn't explain to people around me my experience of that day, that this is not me. I didn't know any of this. And everybody said, oh, good response, so let's record again. And I said, no, this doesn't, magic doesn't happen every time. You know, it's a special experience. It can't repeat as if it's the done thing. They said, no, it'll happen again. I said, no, it won't happen again. Again, resistance. Then again, we did it. And again, the same experience. Then the third time, we thought, this is taking things too much for granted, so we should prepare something. So the third time, I prepared questions, answers, content, material, topic, prepared everything. And then when we sat on the chair, none of that came out in our conversations. So we said, okay, this is not our program. And now it's been 12 years. And even now, every time I sit on that chair to do that program, I still have that little thought, doubt, fear that Baba, please take over. We know nothing that's going to happen. And it's been a journey of that experience. But in those 12 years, I've got to learn a lot. So I learned a lot. So there's no practice in this, there's no preparation, there's nothing that I've done for it. It's just been Baba using for his work. He uses all of us. Each one of us is his instrument, and each one of us is playing different roles. And if you talk to all the sisters and brothers in this campus, or when you go down to Abu Road, you will get similar experiences from everybody, because all of us are doing things which we didn't know how to do. But just surrender and say, use me, and each one of us being is used in different ways, but all of us are just instruments, and God is using us for this seva. So I really don't know about the clarity and the simplicity, but simplicity is only because I understand it only that way. I wouldn't understand it in a more profound way. So just that, but no preparation or strategy for that.
So you're saying if any of us came up here and sat and said, okay, Baba, that out of our mouth would
Yes.
come that brilliant simplicity and clarity. What part of it is yours?
No part of it is
No
mine.
part of it.
No.
What part in your spiritual journey can you claim?
To be part of that seva, the only thing part I can say is I would sit with a silent intellect, not use my own intellect, not plan, not prepare, just sit silent and say use. So that much part is mine.
Were you complicated before?
I don't remember too much what I was like before,
great.
actually.
Okay.
I try very hard to think what all I have changed, but I've forgotten that part of my
I'm
life.
so glad.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, but I think I was quite complicated, definitely. And there's still more to sort out.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
You're
still
not
more to
perfect
sort
yet.
out.
Okay.
Yes, it's a journey.
Okay.
And like sister was saying, I've all your questions been answered. Don't expect questions to be answered in 1 week. This is the beginning of questions starting now because it's an area of our life which we hadn't even ever looked at. So questions actually begin now, not finish. It's a study, it's a journey with questions and answers, but a beautiful relationship.
And it is true on the learning journey, if you're not asking questions, you're not learning anymore. But it's the quality of question in some ways. Am I looking to deepen and understand and have an experience? It brings me to some of the conversation has been, I think we all know, having seen you twice and maybe watched YouTube clips, I'm not sure, but always your message will come back to personal accountability. They're doing this, they're doing that. No matter how intense the description of that situation is, you will always bring it back to the personal. It's like the fundamental principle of Raj Yoga, which you always speak of. And some of it has been around tell yourself, I am a peaceful soul, I am a powerful soul. What advice or what insight can you offer for those who say those words? You know, I am a peaceful soul, I am a powerful soul, but it becomes like a mantra, it becomes like an affirmation, and it doesn't quite stick. How do you make it stick?
Even if it becomes an affirmation will become a reality. It will become a reality. And when we come first day to learn Raj Yoga, we come with all our flaws, our impurities. And the first day, Baba says, I am a peaceful soul. And there's no peace here. You say, I am a peaceful soul. When we go out in the world today, people are saying, I am stressed. It's a very common line. I am stressed. Some people today are saying, I am depressed. Now, when we keep doing this affirmation, I am stressed, I am stressed, I am stressed, you are stressed, we are stressed, everyone is stressed. So, when we keep repeating this affirmation, the stress levels in the world have gone much higher because we kept repeating this affirmation. Then some of us started saying, I'm depressed. Somebody opens the window and says, the weather is so depressing today. Every word is radiating energy and it's influencing reality. To begin with, just take this line: I am a peaceful soul. I am a powerful soul. I am a loveful soul. And most important, I'm connected to the powerhouse, the ocean of peace and love. Morning is for contemplation on these lines and affirmation. And during the day, just a little attention. That little attention during the day is needed because in the morning, when we meditate, it's like charging the phone. But we need to take care during the day that we keep charging it a little more. We don't keep depleting it with wrong karma. The most important thing, why personal responsibility? Because look at any situation in your life. Look at absolutely any situation. I'll share one experience of a sister who came from the US just a couple of months. And she shared her experience with me. And she said, 3 years back, I just switched on the television and this program happened to be on air. But the episode was about what if a family member dies, how to handle that situation. And she heard this episode about the soul moving on the journey. And if the family they leave behind cries and moans, then all that pain radiates to the soul who has moved on the journey. She saw that episode. She said, that day I decided if anyone leaves in my family, I will not cry. She saw only 3 more episodes, so total 4 days. Fifth day, her 21-year-old son died in an accident. And she said, my first thought when I got that information was, neither will I cry, neither will I allow anyone in my family to cry because I do not want to radiate any pain to my child. And she immediately connected with the center in her city, Florida, and she invited the sisters and she said, please do 1 week meditation in my house. I don't want anyone to cry. And she did it. And neither did she cry, neither did she allow anyone else to cry. She said, "We'll remember my son, but with a lot of love and peace. We will always remember him, but we will send only love, blessings, and peace, no pain." And she did this by just watching 3 4 days of a program. Just one decision that I will not give pain to my child. That's the power every soul has. That's the amount of power we have. She took personal responsibility of the situation, that how is she going to handle this crisis now? And she changed her destiny, she changed the destiny of her family, and she changed the destiny of the soul who has moved on because she radiated so much power to that child. Today it's been 3 years. She travels all over the world and she goes and shares her experiences with families and especially those who've lost young children, and she's helping them to heal themselves. This is how destiny can change. Just take responsibility that whatever may be the situation, I, I am the creator of the response. And then the gyan and the power creates the rest of the magic.
So just continue. Is it? Just continue.
We need to continue daily. Daily. Just continue the practice daily. And you're going to start seeing the difference within 1 or 2 months. But we need to do it daily. It's like eating daily, having a bath daily, exercising daily, meditation daily. Daily. For anything to create a result, discipline is most important. Whether it's a career decision, whether it's a health decision, it's always discipline and determination that I will do this daily will create magic.
Thank you. You speak about, I think the image that's very clear to me when you speak about God is that you sit, maybe not an empty vessel, a pure, positive, peaceful soul, but whose intellect is quiet, so that God can use the intellect, and then you speak words that are influenced by that. Many people have the experience of God being everywhere. Could you tell us a little bit about your relationship with God?
God is everywhere. God is inside everybody. God is omnipresent, is something we had heard and we have studied. Right from childhood, I think we were taught God is everywhere. But then we need to also contemplate, if God is everywhere and God is within everyone, then how would everyone be? How would everyone be? If God is within us, how would we be? We would be godlike because God is inside me and God is inside you and you and you. Now, with all our stresses and anxieties and anger and sorrow and pain, is that God inside me? All the crime that's happening in the world, all the wrong that some souls are doing, is it God inside them who is doing that? What is God inside them sitting and doing when they are doing all this? What is God doing? So, when we said God is inside everyone, it was a way of teaching people to live a good life and say, don't hurt anybody, don't do wrong to anybody, respect everyone, treat everyone like God. God is in everybody. But when we start understanding it, we understand that this was more like a parent teaching like a little kid. Don't go out, it's dark, something will happen. Don't. It's like teaching a child. But God cannot really be inside everyone. If God was in everyone, then we would be perfect. Perfect. We could not have a single imperfect thought. But that's not happening. We have very rare perfect feelings and thoughts. So God's remembrance is inside everybody. A connection with God is inside every soul. Every soul has the same qualities like God. So that connection, the remembrance, the qualities, the powers of God are in everybody. but there is a difference between remembrance and qualities of God in everybody and God in everybody. Two things are completely different. It's like some children look very similar to their parents. You find a son or a daughter looking very similar to their parent. They're looking similar to the parent, but still parent is different from the child. They could look like the parent, they could talk and walk like the parent, they could behave like the parent, they could have the same talents, skills, qualities like the parent, but yet parent and child will be different. So, same is with soul and God. Soul is in everybody, which means soul is in every body. The soul has the same qualities as God and the remembrance of God. But God cannot be in everybody. If God was in everybody, it would be paradise always, nothing but perfect. Relationship with God is like a relationship with any soul. How do we start developing a relationship with God? When we used to pray, we've all prayed. When we pray, we recite words which were taught to us as children. But some of us may have experienced that when we are praying, our mind is connected to people instead of God. Anyone experience that? You're thinking of someone else while you're praying? Ever experienced that? We are praying, but the mind is going to work, going home, going to children, and 10 minutes and my prayer is over. I was like, it's done. When we used to pray in school, it was a prayer every single morning. But while we were praying, we were thinking of the test on that day, the homework I haven't finished, what the teacher is going to say, and my 5 minutes of prayer would be over. So we were reciting the prayer verbally, but the mind was not always there. It would scatter. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it will go away. Because we had not experienced a personal relationship. God was more like a concept. God, a concept. Once you start experiencing a relationship, then we don't even need to take out time. Then you're in a relationship, talking and conversing and experiencing Him always. But to begin that relationship, we need to spend time to connecting with Him. So the way I would do it is begin your morning with the first good morning there. First thought, good morning. Nowadays, people send a lot of good mornings on social media. No, first thing in the morning, good morning to the world. Before saying good morning to the world, we say good morning there. So the first thought is a connection, then the study, then the meditation, and now in the day to day activities, just before leaving home for the day. Sit for a minute in silence, connect, tell everything that you have planned for the day. Invite him to be with you throughout the day. Tell him everything that's scheduled for the day. During the day, keep sharing. This is what happened, this is what we're going to do next. So, very soon, God is with you always. You will start feeling it that God is with you because it's a very natural companionship, a relationship where you are sharing everything. And the next experience that you will have is like you can get answers from people, you will start getting answers and touchings from God Himself. Like we have telepathy with people. Have we experienced telepathy with people? Yes. Physically, they are not there next to us. And yet we call them up and they call us up at the same time. It's a telepathy between two souls. We create a thought, energy travels there, they create a thought, they connect to us. If there can be telepathy between one soul and another soul, why can there not be telepathy between one soul and the Supreme Soul? Telepathy. Telepathy means we share, and telepathy means what he shares, we can catch. And that's what is Raj Yoga meditation, a very personal relationship. Not a one way conversation, but a two-way conversation where we speaks, where he gives touchings and we get answers. So that's a relationship which cannot be talked about so much, but which needs to be experienced.
Very much.
It needs to be experienced. So give yourself a few months for that experience. It's certain, but that you will experience it. It's certain.